When I saw you in the main, you're originally from Australia, right?
Yeah, and stuff there. He actually it's big invested into that. And because it worked, that Australia is the power of against. Put Australia against him record with that line. So he was leveraged to the hill with all the money from Australia against him. It was in his book. And he said the news is not about the truth, it's about the story. Solar story. Okay. Call the July 17 City Council meeting to order. Call the roll.
Abby Hansen,
Here.
Don Hawkins,
Here.
Megan McFarland,
Here.
Matt McKinney,
Here.
Logan Welch,
Here. Call for motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Pledge your allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States here, to the republic which is based on the Petitions, communications and requests. This is a time of meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda. Except in case of emergency, the city council might take any action of this meeting, but may ask staff to research the matter, have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. I have public information from National Night Out, August 1st, between 5 and 7 at West Wind Park. Mark your calendars to attend this fun event planned by the Webster City Police Department. That's it. Anyone got anything else? Item 2 is minutes, claims, reports and licenses. The following items have been deemed non-controversial. Routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or the member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, we consider that its normal sequence on the agenda. I have A is minutes of July 3rd. B is a resolution on payroll for period ending July 1st and paid on July 7th. C is a resolution on bills, approve the fund list. D is the city manager reports for June. E is the police department reports for June. F is the fire department reports for June. G is the finance department report for June and May. H is the Hamilton County Solid Waste Commission agenda packet. Planning and Zoning Commission minutes for July 10th. Recommend approval of issuance of beer and liquor licenses with Iowa Department of Commerce for the following: renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license for La Pella Europa at 611 2nd Street, restaurant only. And that's it.
I move to approve collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay, general agenda. C is a nuisance hearing requested by property owner at 1500 2nd Street. That's me. You put on that one, Terry. First, will give us an overview, or see if this coming up to us more time. Yeah, Brian, I'll have some pictures. Yes.
Oh, I can't, I didn't
Come on up to the podium up here and
come up to
up to this. Yeah, up to this thing up here. So what is it you'd like us to do?
well, what would I like done?
Yeah,
I'd like you to extend this for a couple months. They've done Marty is son-in-law, and he's done a terrific job on cleaning it up. Has anybody seen it yesterday or today?
Yeah, I see it's a lot plainer.
There's not a single mower on the ground out front. In fact, there isn't any mowers out front. There's some snow blowers that was out back that he got all on a load. And he must have done a lot today too, because the back is down to a little bit on one side, a little bit on the other side. And he's got one rider on the side that's a good rider, but it belongs to somebody. And the other two riders on the side, I mean, there's three riders. There's no mowers or anything on the side. So, I mean, I grew up at 1231 3rd Street, and they started that when I was 5 years old. So, and I know when they shut it down, 58 and a half years of accumulation, and they just didn't seem to have time to get rid of enough, or they wanted parts off from it. Well, now that it's closed, right now the 6th load, and I mean, he's loading big loads on there of metals that goes to the junkyard, and 5 loads to the dump. And he's got a couple more loads inside ready to be loaded to go to the dump. You use the trailer for where you need it.
Yeah.
At the time. And being I bought it, I want it cleaned up.
Yeah. When I see you got the water line, I see the water line, you're getting that replaced here soon? The water line to the front of it,
The water line.
the water.
Water, the water.
Oh, yeah, he's supposed to be working on it. And when I seen it today, I'm gonna text him and ask him what's going on. He had to wait to get some parts and stuff.
Okay.
And he said it was on order. He was supposed to be working on it this Friday start. This last Friday. Well, now I need to call him and
So
see what's going on.
So you might have water on there in a week or so, you think? You think you might have water on there in a week or so?
I'm more than 3/4 deaf. I can't hear you unless you're talking to the mic.
I don't think,
Does that work?
I don't think that'll help either.
Well, I can hear her voice, but I can't. Some voices I can still hear. Not my choice. I was around
It's mine.
deaths and gunfire in the Marine Corps.
I speak the wrong English. But that's-
So you're thinking in a week or so you'll have the water.
Oh, I
Running to the.
don't know. He was supposed to be already working on it. And that's why I gotta call him and see what's going on, because I see when I came in and got into town today, I live in Dayton. Well, I come into town for this, and I go by and I take a few pictures from the front and down the side in case you wanted to see them. And
Okay,
I don't know why it hasn't started.
you wanna ask, anyone need to ask him any more questions?
The actual request is just extended time, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Oh.
Did you wanna, we wanna ask?
I mean, it's cleaner now than I've ever seen it. I've never seen when there wasn't any more stuff.
Yeah, no, it's,
After he's cleaned it up,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was cleaner.
back,
It's been
and
getting-
the metal grates and, now the air compressor that's out there, somebody's buying that, it's still there. And the 2 trailers that are out there right now are leaving their Martys. And what else is there? Okay, I'll look at the pictures.
So you bought this from Marty,
Well, from,
No,
Oh, sorry.
Leonard and Mary.
Leonard, sorry, yeah, I apologize. So, and you've taken ownership of this as is, right? Like, and they just, you had like some type of an
They're
agreement.
my aunt and uncle. I'm letting them have some time to
okay.
clean it up.
Sure, sure. I get it.
But I was supposed to actually get the back half of it. New Year's. No, Christmas. He said a Christmas present to you. We'll have the back all cleaned out. Christmas for you. Well, you know what? It isn't even halfway yet. He didn't have any, he didn't know that there was so much in there.
he didn't tell you.
I have
Chris.
pictures that I have right now. Yeah, is about 1/3 of the size of this room. And then state month, come on. But yeah, if I push, I mean, Marty's, I don't know what he's getting out of it, but boy, he ends up working alone because Nathan's got, he's got a full-time job, he works for the city. And Nathan is working 12-hour days. I mean,
Okay,
I
um,
can't expect any help out of any, Leonard and Mary's too old, so I got Marty that's doing it. And I got a little mad because I started moving some stuff in there. Well, geez, it's my place. I'd like to get all this junk out of here.
Yeah.
And I keep pushing and pushing. Well, that notice, that got Marty really in here.
Yeah.
So I'm actually glad the notice got put there. I don't like the notice because it's to me. And, but he's been hauling out, working, getting that out of there. He goes up there at 4 o'clock when he gets off from work. Every day, and he works weekends up there. He's there all the time. I'm surprised he wasn't there at all. No, he wasn't there today. But he needs to take that load of junk in. There's about 1 load of junk behind. And that shed looks like crap, but it's really not a nuisance. And the shed, the little shed, the metal one, that still has the rental scaffolding in it. Well, they're supposed to get that out a long time ago. Well, geez, come get your job. You see, when they don't pick their stuff up, what am I supposed to do? I want to tear that down, clean that. I want the whole back cleaned off and the whole front cleaned off. I don't want nothing outside other than I come there and I park my vehicle. Now, I think they want to leave that black trailer there, but where are you gonna park it? See, that front is actually a little parking lot, not on the side, though. You drive across the side. And to me, the only thing that should be there, my stuff. I don't know why he's got those extra trailers there, but he does.
Okay.
I am trying to, I want this, I want it cleaned up. And I took a picture here, it's really cleaned up a lot. Oh, the other thing for forklift.
Yeah.
So how much, so the original notice was 10 days past June 26th. How much more time are you asking?
Well, I'd like about another 30, see, he's gonna be bringing stuff out, how much, if it goes out and it goes into the trailer. And it doesn't go piling up on the ground or nothing, is that a problem? He's gonna have that trailer there bringing out trash. And loading into it, but that's a trailer, not a whole bunch of mowers and stuff. If it's all cleaned up, I want to bring in a load of new crushed rock or pave that side.
So, I mean,
I don't like all those weeds and I don't, but that's still. Let's see, what did he do? Did he knock the weed? He did the weeds on the out back by that shed. There's trees and stuff growing there.
so I know I appreciate all the updates and I appreciate the work your family's doing and you're doing to get this cleaned up. But just like kind of give us a timeline, like what would be a.
Well, I said to him when he was talking to me, I said, put a couple months on there, I could have it, I want it all done by then, all the weeds and everything. I mean, really, it'll probably, as far as I'm concerned, if he had 1 more load out back, it shouldn't be any notice. It should be just, well, get rid of mow the grass, that's normal, that ain't, let it go get tall anyhow. But no junk around, there's about 1 load out back. Otherwise, there's 2 or 3 barrels on the side. And a rider that doesn't belong to me. And when he gets a load of trash out of the inside, my riders are going inside.
Okay. I want Ryan to come up and tell us what he's got on it. So just have a seat for a minute more.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got some pictures. Right.
So it's actually you more background.
Or,
No, other way.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
Well, anyway, when I originally hung the notice, I think it was on June 26th.
Yeah.
There's before and after picture, now we're getting in the before pictures. What I hung the notice for was machinery and junk and weeds. Weeds have been taken care of, most of the machinery and junk has been done. This is the before.
Yeah.
So.
I see it's a lot cleaner in the front, I think.
Yeah, and I have updates from yesterday morning, as we keep clicking through it. And those are also labeled as such.
Do you feel comfortable us giving him how much more time?
More of the nuisance side of it is outside of the building and inside would be the inspector. So,
what?
and terms of the nuisance being taken care of. I think all of that nuisance stuff, since there's not that much, yeah, I think it could be done in a load and a half, maybe more.
Yeah.
I think a month would be fair.
Is the trailer being on the sidewalk a problem?
Typically, you're gonna want to have it paved on a paved surface, so the code requires either a paved surface or gravel. I don't remember if it was 4 inches or what specific the amount, but. The only problem with the gravel will be that it will allow the weeds to come back unless the tree stat sprays that, so that's an ongoing issue. Generally, yes, the trailer on the right of way, unpaved surface is an issue.
You can have it there temporarily, if as long as it's coming and going, if they're taking loads out, it's allowed, if it's parked there, it's. Being like more than, like, it's 48 hours.
So I would think a month, you should be able to have it all finished easy.
In 30 days, so you can lose the urgency to get it done. 30 days from today's date from the hearing.
Did you catch that?
Oh, you talking, I can't hear you.
Sure. The council was talking about 30 days, 30 days.
Oh, you're
extension.
for 30 days? Yeah, I was gonna say, those, I'd like to see it gone, so I don't have to mess with you guys, but you know what? I want it to stay there, you know why? Because then he stays in gear. And that, so that actually that's helping me.
Yeah.
I don't like it there, but he knows that it's gotta be done and say, hey, if I get fined, it's you guys are junk, you guys are gonna pay it. And that's, they don't have, they've never budgeted their money very good. So they ain't gonna like that, but they need to get it gone. The trailer's loaded right now, I don't know if he took a load in today or not. Probably not. Because then he wouldn't have it reloaded yet.
Okay, yeah, let's do the, well,
Now, I got one question.
Yep.
What did he say about inside the building?
He had said that the outside, he's focused for his role, he can only focus on the outside.
Yeah,
The
his-
inside
I'll
would
say
be the
what's
building
inside is
inspector.
nobody's business unless it's against law.
Right, so like, for instance, the water line is something that the building inspector would.
That should
be
be done a
responsible.
year ago.
Right,
And I told, see, when they was trying to get done, they were trying to get somebody to do it and pay them like $10 a month. You gotta be kidding me. I say, just do it. I'll pay you the whole amount. So that's getting them a little more gear. Now, Have said he'd do it. Well, you know what? I can't even get a hold of him. Now I'm told that he retired. Well, so he ain't gonna do it. And K&H wants $16,000 for it. I'm sorry, just fill the hole in. I'm not having water. But I talked to the other place. He used to be in that building a block up from him. When he comes to town, he tries to do several jobs at once, and he was gonna do that. It's because it's quite a drive, I guess. Anyhow,
okay,
go ahead and doing stuff. I got a backhoe, I could dig it out, but you know what? I don't have insurance that I should have for digging there.
well, I got a plumber.
Huh?
I need a plumber to do the water line.
Yeah, well, I've done plumbing too. I went to school for industrial machine repair and graduated top of my class.
All right, well,
I can sweat pipes, I would with advanced maintenance welding over at Iowa Central. And he says, how did you learn to weld so good? And I said, I was a cadet teacher in Webster City. I taught other. Well,
okay,
anyhow,
we gotta
I
keep
could do it,
going.
but I don't want to do it. That's part of the buying is that they pay for getting that done. But she dumped it in my lap to find somebody to do. And somebody here in this building sent me a list that is so far out of date. They don't do Webster City anymore. They're closed, they're retired. Right on down the list. Well, I think there's only 2 good ones on the list now, K&H or Peterson Construction, same thing. Or I don't know what his name is.
Okay, well, we'll move on here, so we're
We're going 30 days.
30 days from the date, today's date, the date of the hearing.
Okay,
what you
is
have.
there any way to get that posted on the door so they know it? All right. instead of me giving it to them or telling them, if you post that on the door like the other one. I'll say, I got an extension, the post is going on the door, and I don't want nothing at the end of that date, I don't want nothing outside.
Willing
Yeah,
to
we good.
post something.
That's great, thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
City council that works with you, I never seen one of those.
So need a motion to.
Made the motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, perfect. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Now we can go back to the 605 public hearing. Public hearing on proposed plan specifications, proposed formal contract and estimate of costs for emergency backup power for sewer lift station project. I'll open the hearing. Are there any written objections? Are there any oral objections other than the test run today?
No oral objections.
I'll close the
I
hearing.
wish I'd heard that, I could use a laugh. I see everybody laughing, but I can't hear what's said.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor. Council members. So this item has been used before. Back in March of 2022, we did apply for a FEMA grant to install 3 backup generator sewer lift stations. At that time, we did receive flow. That quote was for maybe $6,633. We've seen a 74% increase since then, because after we bid the project out, the lowest bidder came in at $168,608. And that would be for the 3 lift stations, 3 backup generators, and 3 concrete pads, as well as a load bearing test, which is a requirement of FEMA. So the budget is this is essentially $71,874.92 outside of the scope of the dollar that we were in originally. Originally, it was going to cover 100% of the entire project, but it will not do that now. I did reach out to the FEMA grant coordinator. They said they don't have any additional money, so we can't get that side at this time. The only way that they would have any additional dollars is if another city project came in under budget, which is highly unlikely with the full budget. And there were monies that were put back into, then that's when you would see additional dollars. So the ask before you is, we're asking if you're willing to continue to move this project forward, award the contract to P&P Electric, and utilize some of the sewer fund revenues of $72,000 to go ahead and proceed with this project. And then also to give you guys a little bit of history, back in fiscal year 21-22, the city did budget $30,000 towards backup generators at the sewer lift station. And then in 22-23, we budgeted $15,000. So this has been a project that we've been trying to do for several years. We pursued grant opportunities to try and offset that cost. Unfortunately, current status, we'd still have been paying $7,000 to get it.
Well, it could have been more. Could have been 170. Okay. Call for motion. Well, I'll read it. Resolution authorizing the mayor to sign and execute an agreement with PMP Electric for 3-year emergency backup generators for the city operating lift stations.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
B is a public hearing on a proposed offer to purchase city-owned property located in Webster City, Iowa. A hearing, are there any objections?
No written objections,
Are there any oral objections?
oral objections.
I'll close the hearing.
Sure, I'll talk about this one. This was one, I think we've talked about it several times in the past few months. It really comes down to back in roughly about 2004, when the Webster City Daycare was established by renovating an old Hy-Vee facility, Hy-Vee store. The original concept for the daycare facility was it included the playground area to the north of the building. And also on that parcel as well is our water tower on the west end, and closer to the east end is a geothermal well system that serves the daycare building. That geothermal system was part of the daycare's development back in the early 2000s. For whatever reason, the playground and the geothermal wells that parcel that they're on was not separated from the city's water well or not water, the water tower. And so when earlier this year, when the daycare was looking to do some renovations to the building and under the current contract structure at the time, because it was a city-owned facility, we ran into some questions and challenges that we had to navigate. Otherwise, that would have otherwise made it a public improvement project subject to all the regulatory and statutory requirements of a public facility. And that's when it came to light that the parcel to the north where the playground sits was not properly divided and separated. So we're going back here now some 20 years later and correcting this issue to make sure that everything kind of conforms and the property all is within the daycare's name. So in order to do that, we are providing essentially a grant to the daycare that would in turn pay the appraised value of the property. So we would get that money back. But ultimately, the end goal was to clean up this property to make sure that there's not a lingering issue that the city and the daycare would have to navigate in the future as they look to make improvements to the facility.
For a resolution authorizing execution of an offer to buy real estate and acceptance. Subsequent warranty deed conveying city-owned property located at 1317 Beach Street, Webster City, Iowa, to Webster City Daycare Center.
Be abstaining from voting on both of these because in the daycare board.
I move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have a resolution authorizing economic development grant to Webster City Daycare Center. All those in favor say aye. D is a resolution accepting and approving the minor subdivision plat of Verrills Addition and Hamilton County, Iowa. Aaron?
So before you was just a request for accepting and approving the subdivision. This was submitted to the city in June, and all utility departments, the city of June. We've all reviewed it and we don't see any issues. It's located on 220th Street, which is within the two cities to jurisdiction, and it's okay cultural. The current property owners are looking to sell it off to either property owners who are adjacent to them or a different entity, and it will be continue to be used as farmland. This did go to PMZ, and their recommendation was to approve it. It's coming before you is because council approves all minor subdivisions before it can be deemed a bona fide subdivision. So we're just recommending that city council approve the minor subdivision. There's addition, we did it resolution.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Aaron. E is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign and execute a change order number 3 with Peterson Construction for the water facility project. Improvement project. Is this was still extending?
Yeah, for extending the time, all of the components have arrived. They
Oh.
need additional time in programming. Hopefully next time we'll be here for close.
Call for motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. F is report recommendations from Hotel Motel Tax Board around 26 grant applications.
Good evening. I'm Jamie Sizer and I'm on the Hotel Motel Board. And this year we had organizations that asked for grants from us. One was Hamilton County Speedway for promotion and advertising. And the other one was from William Baldwin from the Traction City RC. This year, our board, we really thought hard and strong on what we felt was good amount. Our recommendation to the council this year is for Hamilton County Speedway for the promotion and advertising at $15,000.
Jamie, just a second, I'm sorry. Found it. I was like moving my mouse. What's going on? It's the power supply to my computer's making it hum. Okay, all better.
We're asking the council to approve the $15,000 for the Hamilton County Speedway for promotion and advertising. And also 7,000 for William Baldwin Traction City RC for building upgrades, a total of $22,000.
Call for motion on report recommendations from the Hotel Motel Tax Board on round 26 grant applications, including a water amount.
Move to approve.
Second.
As presented.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
All those in favour say aye. Call for motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Of course you fix it right.
I'm gonna put it back.
Ford was.
So power supply. So every time I move the mouse, I was hearing it. It's like,
Different.
I'm like, is that me or am I just?